them now will come into play. And this is where, between those ages, Pastor Oscar, of late teens and young adults, this is where many of us lose our children from the faith. Because this time they are reasoning. Because at 18, that daughter of yours is a voter. Your son is a voter. The other day I came back from Zimbabwe to find my granddaughter is now not just a voter, a driver. She passed her driving test. That person does not have to obey you as long as they do what? Honor you. Kwa maana akienda kwa ballot box ni secret. Wote afikiri amepigia Kenya Kwanza, kumbe alipigia Azimio. Ni uamuzi wa na wezi kuanza fujo. Because it is called secret ballot. Niendelea ama ninawakosea sasa? Ama ninawasaidia? Because this is when you start becoming unreasonable, you start losing your children. Because verse 4 comes into play at this point. Verse 4 says, parents, do not provoke your children. And fathers, especially you fathers. Fathers mpo? Unaweza kusoma hiyo? Fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. Because at this time you can provoke them. Aseka is my son. He has reached that age. He brings me a girl to marry. He has already honored me by bringing me a girl before he marries her. That is honor. That is what? Now I provoke him by saying, ni mtu gani umeniletea? Do you see how we provoke our children? Your daughter has already done what? Honored you by bringing you the man who wants to marry her. And then you start provoking by saying, he's too short. As though you have already told yourself. He's not educated enough. What work does she do? What's her tribe? I don't like her color. So this is how we provoke our children, and they end up eloping. Because that girl would have gone ahead and got pregnant without you knowing. By the time you meet her, anakuambia, Daddy, this is you. Say, what? Named after you. What will you do that time? Because they honored you, you provoked them. Children can punish you. I said children can do what? Punish. And I know some who told me, huyu, vile ana behave, nitamshikia mimba di atanyamaza. I remember one girl telling me, because the father was unreasonable, nitamletea mtoto hapa. Na kweli akalete. We are trying to counsel the parents, bado wanafutua fujo. Asa nitamletea wa pili kama hajajifunza. Akaleta wapi? Ndio wazazi wakanyamaza. Kabla hujafanywa hivyo, si saidia mimi tuzungumza na huyo mzazi, ukiwa naye hapo mwambie parent, kabla hujafanywa hivyo, don't provoke your children to what? To anger. Because children have a way of punishing us. Ni kama hatujuagi. It is we counselors who hear those stories when they sit with us. And mimi, I knew what I was doing. Hata kama ni mimba, najua jinsi ya kuzuia mimba. Hata ningetaka kutoa ningetoa. But I wanted to teach my mother a lesson. I wanted to teach my father a lesson. This is where it is that age we lose our children. Because they are in their late teens, they are in early adulthood. Saa hiyo mtu wa Mungu unamtreat vile ulikuwa na treat akiwa a child who must obey you. 10 years and below, 12 years and below. Unasahau, you are forgetting that this child was 12 years and below. He's no longer a child, he's now a mature woman. I told you. Whatever hygienic products you're using, my sister, she's also using. My brother, his voice is broken, it's like yours. He's also growing a goatee, like you have one. Yours have got a few gray hairs, but his is still black. But a goatee is a goatee. Hata watu wakimwangalia sema, your father used to look like this. He resembles you kabisa. Hata una haja ya DNA, unaonekana tu, sura ni yako. Don't lose your child at that time. But listen to what I'm going to say now. Don't forget the atmosphere they are in. There's an atmosphere out there that is, it's called peer pressure. Can I continue? Internet, what is trending on the social media, it is putting them under pressure. Because the body tells them you are a grown-up. Their friends are telling them now you can make your own decisions. But something tells them, no, I'm still a child. Because I still need to stay in my parents' house. I still need my parents to pay my school fees. I still need my parents to buy my clothes. Are you seeing the tension they are in? Parents, are you seeing me now? That's a tension many children need your help to navigate. Because if you don't help them navigate that time, children are like arrows in the hands of a warrior. This is the time they make mistakes. And this is the time they want to see grace. I know. You'll notice I'm talking very slowly. Because I'm trying to coach you. Because you have a whole generation to raise. Are you understanding me now? I know you have brought your child to church. You brought him to Sunday school, brought her to Sunday school. And because you brought them to Sunday school and they sang with the jewels and all that, you are assuming they are born again. You are forgetting salvation is a decision. And you need to lead your children to the Lord at one point in their lives. Wake up your neighbor, tell him, neighbor, stop assuming your children's salvation. It's a major mistake Christians, parents, make. Because I took you to Sunday school, I saw you sing with the jewels, I saw you sing in the Sunday school choir, even you joined the teens, and Aseka told me you give memory verse, you used to win the Bible trivia quiz, you are winning everything. That is not salvation. Those are Christian activities, which we encourage. It took our daughter Joy to confront us and told us, Daddy, siwewe una siku uliokoka. Saba, kwani na mimi, you don't want me to have a day I got saved. Because but she helped us to begin to see that we need to bring our children to a conscious decision of the Lord, or else they'll continue living under the shadow of our faith, not having their own faith themselves. So children in that age, seek, like Abraham was told, to teach them the ways of the Lord. Seek to bring them to the way of salvation. Don't be like Jacob. When he comes back from Laban's home, instead of going back to Bethel, where he met with God, he went to Shechem and built an altar to himself, and his daughter was raped because he exposed his daughter to the world. That's when God told him, and his sons killed the people who raped their sister. Until God told him, Jacob, rise up, go back to Bethel, go back to the house of God where I met with you. Introduce your wife and children to God. In Genesis 35, you find now Jacob rising. Can I shock you? Telling his wives, put away the idols you carried from your father's house. He had not led them to the Lord up to that time. It is that time that Jacob tells him that after his daughter has been raped, his sons have committed murder. So don't underestimate the potential, number one, the danger your children are facing in Diana being raped, and the potential that your children can become criminals. So if someone comes and they met your son drunk and they tell you nimekutana na kijana wako na alikuwa amelewa, wacha kumwambia nini wewe, George wangu hawezi kulewa, alikuwa anaimba Sunday school. Wewe tuliza boli, tuliza nini, usipige aliyekuletea hizo habari. Ombea mtoto wako. Na usitoke hapo unaenda kupiga vita. Haki ya Mungu inaniaibisha. Mimi najua ni mzee wa kanisa. Unalewa kwa nini? Kokora mno. Unaanza vita. Unampigia nini? Ni wewe umelewa. Animoja tu swali, ni wewe umelewa? Bwana asifiwe sana. Ndugu moja ameitwa na jirani, nimeacha mtoto wako amelala kwa mtaro mle. Akasema wangu si mlevi, kwanza nilimwacha shule. Kumbe yeye hata ile fees hakulipa. Alikuja amekunywa siku mbili, ilipoisha kirudi nyumbani akaanguka kwa mtaro. Paka mama akaambia tuangalie. Wakaenda kuangalia kwa upole, akakuta na kweli ni ule wangu. Akamchukua akampeleka nyumbani aanze vijana anamwambia unataka kunipigia nini? Wewe unalewa. Akaambia nikianza kunywa wewe ulijua. Akaacha vita akaja kwangu. Alikuja kwa nyumba yangu kwanza kulia. Nikamwambia unalia nini? Nimekuta mna. Nikamwambia wewe ndio umekunywa pombe? Hapana. Sasa unalia kwa nini? Kuna vitu ninasema vibaya ama ninawasaidia. Kuna vitu watoto watafanya, but we must understand we are in the New Testament. In the Old Testament ndipo dhambi ya mtoto inafuata baba, dhambi ya baba. Lakini katika Agano Jipya mtu anabeba mzigo wa kwa maana if you never put those values in them when they were young, don't expect the values to come out when they are growing up. Number two, you might have put in the values like they rebel. That's a possibility. Listen to what I'm going to say now. In the first instance, you are dealing with ignorance. You're dealing with what? And ignorance is taken out by instructions. But there's a stage comes, you're no longer dealing with ignorance. You are dealing with rebellion. And you need to come up with measures. Because at that time, Pastor Oscar, what these children are looking for as they are in this tension, listen to what I'm going to say. You can make the first mistake of giving them total freedom. At that time, they are wondering, why are you giving me freedom? I cannot pay for my house. I cannot buy my clothes. I cannot pay my fees. I cannot feed myself. I know my body tells me. I know some boys telling me I make wife material. But Daddy, why are you letting me go? What they are looking at guardrails. They're looking for what? Guardrails. It's called control freedom. Don't kill the freedom that you cannot bring friends. You cannot go. You cannot go to a movie. Don't go that way. You cannot watch TV. Don't go that way. Tell them they shall not have friends, they'll have friends. They shall not go for a movie, they'll go for a movie without you knowing. Tell them your friends are welcome to this house. You can have friends, you can visit friends, your friends can come. But put some guardrails. If you visit your friends, you must be back by 9 o'clock. Otherwise, you will not visit again. At least they'll feel you have allowed me to go, but you have put some guardrails. Can I continue? Your friends can come and visit, but they cannot sleep over. And when they come to visit, they can only sit in the sitting room, go to the kitchen or the bathrooms, not go to the bedrooms. Put some guardrails. Am I talking to somebody here? Don't just say your friends can come and sleep anywhere, they can spend the night. Wewe unalala mtoto watu analala kwako akifanya nini? But if you just give them that freedom, they'll wonder, why are you just releasing me? And if you tell them not to, they'll still do it now out of rebellion. Are we still together? Even if they rebel, and you planted the right seed in them, Proverbs 22:6 should be the verse you claim. Train up a child in the way he should go. He may rebel in the days he's at uni or whatever, but when he's old, he shall do what? Come back. Stand on that verse. I dedicated this child. I taught this child. I was an example to this child. Unanielewa sasa? Somewhere along the line, mpira umekuwa mwingi. My daughter has gone this way, that way. Number one, don't take their guilt upon yourself. But listen to what I'm going to say now. But show grace and love. Reach out to them in what? Grace and love. Let them know you care for them. Let them all know you love them. Reach out, because that is what they want to see coming out of you. Am I talking to somebody here? And therefore I challenge us tonight. As we consider in this meeting about our families, the only thing you can take to heaven with you is not your car, not your piece of land, not your property, but your children. Don't give up on them. Don't just say, it is the way of the world. No, these are your children. The responsibility of raising up a godly offspring is yours. Not your teachers, not the Sunday school teacher, not the teens church pastor. It is primarily yours as a father and a mother. Am I clear now? Because unless, Pastor Richard, we start taking responsibility as parents, the future of our nation and society is at stake. Because we are not raising responsible adults. We are not raising a godly offspring. We are not giving clear directions. We are not imparting clear values in these children. They are well dressed. They have all the gadgets. They have lived well. They eat well. But they have got no values. What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world, yet you lose your own soul? What shall it profit your child to have to go to the best schools, get the best diplomas and degrees, end up an alcoholic, end up in prison because they stole money from the company, end up suffering mob justice because they are stealing chickens in the community? What shall it profit you? It's our responsibility as parents to raise the next generation. Am I talking to somebody here? Two scriptures I want to read for you. These are things that we should pay attention to, because this is the atmosphere in which we are raising our children. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 25. Look at this atmosphere. How does it begin? Therefore, come on, talk to me. Therefore, putting away what? Can you imagine that atmosphere in your marriage and in your home? You are raising a home because the culture outside is a culture that entertains lies, celebrates lies. Talk to me. You want to know someone is lying? When they say, hide my identity. Come on, let's talk at where you operate from. Hide my? That one wants to tell a lie. And right now, our children are growing in that atmosphere where they don't even know who is saying what. When I was growing up, my late father and mother, and people who were my age group here, the Ojiambos, will tell you, our parents, if the radio said anything, they took it as the truth. You ask him, a radio neighbor. The radio said. Today, it's not the radio. It is on the internet. How many of you know, can I continue? Not everything on the internet is true. In fact, you'll find 75% are lies. But because, can I use the word you use? Azeka. Because it is trending. Because it is what? Trending. So our children are growing in an atmosphere where people are lying to each other. Create an atmosphere in your home where you learn to tell the truth to one another. Am I asking for too much? I go to pick one of my daughters when she was still a small girl. And she gets in the car and she asks me, Daddy, what does the word silly mean? Nikamuuliza, what do you mean? You know, I'm in a shock. I say, silly. Silly, yes. The teacher called us silly girls. Girls I know, but silly I don't know. She was in standard 3 that time, class 3. I was offended because my child had learned a new word from the teacher which she has not learned at home, because in the home we never call them silly. Are you understand what I'm trying to say now? You can have an atmosphere in your home where you don't call one another names, where you don't lie to one another, where you speak the truth to one another. Can I go to God? Can I say what I want to say? You don't flatter one another. See, a lie is bad. A half-truth is dangerous. Flattery is worse. And some of you ladies like being flattered. Macho, una macho kama nyota. That will be a lesson for another day. You are told some sweet nothings. My brother, are you sure if you met a woman with eyes, stars for eyes, you live with her? Are you sure? Hiyo macho inawaka kama nyota na tajata. Are you sure, my brother, you live with that woman? Si utatoroka. Then why are you lying to your wife? Bwana asifiwe sana. Kuna ndugu moja mke wake alipika chakula, akakula. Akasema acha nimsifu, hii chakula ilikuwa nzuri sana. Thank you. Following day mama akapika the same. So wanaume umeipenda. Alipikiwa the same food siku 7. Akafika mahali akasema, hiyo soko hakuna chakula ingine. Akasema, sisi ndio unapenda. Stop flattering. It is there, therefore. You are reading that scripture again. Tell your neighbor we are creating an atmosphere. What do we say? Therefore, putting away what? Lying.